These two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. How the fuck's that even happen? They're two grown men on a mission now, so buckle up and just strap in.
Oh, where can my baby be? The Lord took her away from me. She's gone to heaven, so I got to be good.
These two grown men had never seen the Simpsons. It's America's Barley Basket.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of America's Barley Basket. I am your host, Marlon Wells, alongside host Nathan Folsebach. Hello, Nathan.
Hello, Marlon.
Not alongside per se, because we are coming at you live via the internet, the World Wide Webs. We are
remix.
We are working it remotely this week. Somebody moved off to the big city and left his buddy behind.
We've been discussing how do we get the magic of those early episodes back. And this is how we do it.
Oh yeah, that's what those early episodes were, is magic. For fucking sure.
Into our respective labs. We meditate on what it was, that spark, that fire, that youthful energy. You listen to those first podcasts, you could run a triathlon. It just fuels you with youthful vigor.
Absolutely, yes.
Dripping with vigor.
The timing was always perfect. The chemistry was palpable.
Then we went Hollywood, let's be honest.
Oh yeah, Hollywood, sitting in my apartment, drinking Miller Lights.
Yep, just like the celebrities do.
Yeah, they're just like us.
They love Miller Lite.
That's what I've always heard. I think they get it in like goodie bags at the Oscars. They give Miller Lights.
How many people would be involved in the emergency aftermath if Channing Tatum drank 7 Miller Lights in a day? They have to get 3 dietitians. Oh my God. Yeah, 2 physical trainers. Oh, fucking bunch of fucking PR people to do damage control in case he sent out a tweet.
Yeah, half a dozen substance abuse specialists being like, where did this come from? Are you okay? What is, there'd be a lot of psychoanalyzing happening.
Yeah.
I bet Channing Tatum can crush a few Miller Lights. He seems like a bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, good point. Yeah. And he's also a big guy. You know, he could probably he could flush them out of his system quick. Maybe like Jake Gyllenhaal. They'd stick to his ribs a little more.
Yeah. Timothy Chalamet would probably have like a hospital stay after a handful of Miller Lights.
If he drank 7 Miller Lite pounders, he'd have to get his stomach pumped.
I like Timothy Chalamet, but yes, I don't think he can do 7. I don't think which is fine. Good for him. Good. Yeah, that's a good thing.
I don't think we're really throwing him under the bus. We're not TMZing him here.
Right. Yeah. I like Timothy Chalamet. But he's the size and form of a marionette who's come to life. I don't think he can crush a fucking 30 rack of anything.
I wonder if we were a tag team, they should measure our weight in Timothy Chalamet's. Like coming into the ring at 12 3/4 Chalamet's. Like some weird old British livestock weighing system.
Like stone, like the British use.
How many hands tall are you?
Pretty sure you still measure horses by hands.
Yeah, 16 and a half hands at the haunches.
That's a big fucking horse, by the way. 16's a big fucking horse. I think hands are measured from the ground to the point of the shoulder. I think is where hands are.
I hope each little village had one man whose hands were the proper size.
His were the standard.
Call him.
Yep. Get Dave on the phone. We got to measure this horse.
Yeah. And it's like something he takes very seriously.
Yeah. He tries to retire, but they keep pulling him back in like Rambo's general or colonel.
Yeah. Has that gloves he wears before he eats soup because he can't risk scalding his fingers.
He's got his hands insured. He won't operate any hand saws or anything.
Yeah.
I can't mess up my fucking horse measuring gig that I got going.
That's That's going to be the new learn to code. Learn to measure horses with your hands.
That's
the
the
new economy.
That's the new real estate license. I can't tell you the amount of dirtbags I've known in my life who now are like, I got my real estate license. If anybody wants to buy a house like that, somewhere along the line, that became the thing of, listen, I'm getting my shit together and I'm working a real deal, normal job. Okay.
And you either do very well or you're out of it in 6 months.
Yep, one or the other. Either way, they get the money that you have to pay to take their fucking test. So that's the real hustle.
Yeah.
You were out telling jokes this past weekend, just out here killing it in real life, telling outdoor jokes. How was that?
It was very fancy. It was at a winery. There were grapes. I don't think I'd ever seen grapes growing in the wild before.
Oh, what a day. What a big day.
I wanted to run through the vines. They do not want you to do that. That's harshly prohibited.
You're out there just shoveling grapes into your mouth right off the vine. Get him out of here.
Oh, so decadent.
Oh God, get him away from the Chardonnays.
Yeah, I wanted to take my shoes off and do the grape stomping, but they strongly prohibit that.
You're just putting grapes on the ground, stepping on them. Am I doing it right?
Peeling off some of the wettest ankle socks you've ever seen because it's very humid out. Time to make the wine.
Which of the other comics is his handler? We got to get this under wraps. Once he does his fucking tight 20, we got to get him out of here.
Yeah, throw a tarp over him so he goes to sleep or something.
Like a bird.
He's scaring off our regulars.
This big dumb parakeet.
Yeah, I don't even tip over. I just stay standing when there's a tarp over me, so I'm out.
There's just soft snoring coming from under this tarp.
It sounds like he's really getting a good sleep in.
I mean, good for him. Boy, his feet sure are sticky from all the grapes he was fucking up earlier.
He's going to be very confused later tonight.
They rip the tarp off you dramatically like you're a classic car that they're showing off.
Whoa, what is shirt off?
What day is it? Why are my feet sticky?
Behold.
Ta-da! It's the worst magic trick.
Checking my teeth.
Oh, God. Well, I'm glad that went well. It looked like fun. I saw a couple of photos. Outdoor shows, hit or miss,
Very. Yes.
Everyone thinks outdoors.
Too many variables.
Yeah. Everyone thinks outdoors like, oh, it'd be great to have a comedy show outdoors. But outdoors is not the way to do comedy.
That's where the animals live.
Right. Yeah. There's too much sky.
Yeah. Brother, you think there's too much sky? Have you seen how much ground there is?
That's a more immediate problem, is all this ground.
So much ground. You can't escape the ground.
Yeah. One asshole rides by on a motorcycle. Everyone turns and looks like you can't. There's too much going on.
Train goes by.
People get distracted by a fun bird.
Yep. So many fun birds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can't really control the environment in an outdoor comedy show, but I'm glad it went well.
We're showmen, so we put our best foot forward.
You really do. I've always said that about you. God damn it, that Nathan Fulsbach, he's a professional.
Yeah. Nothing will slow him down.
Yeah.
Except his failing body.
I'm right there with you. I went to this past weekend. A beer picnic, a rare beer picnic. That was like, it wouldn't be your kind of thing, but it's like you buy a ticket and then they give you a glass, and then there's all these like fancy beer vendors, and you just walk around with your glass, and I'll try this one, I'll try that one, I'll try this one. It's like a tasting thing. So I went to that this past weekend, and I've been to it before, but not in years. I forgot that if you try a little bit of 80 different things, you are day drunk. You are shithoused because you're drinking 13.5% imperial stouts half the time, and it lasts 4 hours. It's broad daylight. You're drinking in the sun. You're hot, so you're drinking faster. And it was a blast, but like just walking around for 4.5 straight hours, I was like laid up yesterday. Yeah. Like, oh man, my leg hurts.
My hip dysplasia's flaring up.
I think I got a high ankle sprain. How did that even happen? Like I'm a fucking wide receiver.
You gotta go in the shade and lay down on your haunches like a hamster. Catch a quick nap. Too overstimulated.
It was a blast, sure, but like I wasn't even hungover. I was just like
tired.
Yeah, I was like laid up. Like, oh, were you involved in some manner of helicopter accident? No, I was just upright in the sun for several hours in a row. And that's all it takes to
wreck me.
Yeah, to be injured for a day and a half. To get on IR. It was a blast, though. It was a lot of fun. I love that thing. It used to happen once a year, and then the Covey Cove fucked up their rhythm, but it's back this year. So I had fun, but man, was I a fucking wreck yesterday.
When you called it a rare beer, like expo or whatever, I knew what you meant. Picnic. I knew what you meant, but what I was hoping, against hope, is that meant it was like rare beers, as in, here's a 1982 can of Stroh's Light with Richard Petty on it. They only made them for 3 months. Just pouring out thimbles of rancid Stroh's Light.
If you pay extra, you can get the last bit that's got the sentiment at the bottom. That's what you really want. Swirl in your glass like, oh yeah, it's dirt. It's dirt in this Stroh's is what's happening. Yeah.
You think you could still buy a rack of Stroh's?
I have drank Stroh's in a bar fairly recently, so It's still out there.
You know, you're right. The only time in my life I've ever drank Stroh's is in a bar.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, Stroh's advertised a lot, so they must have been kind of popular.
Yeah, Stroh's had its moment in the sun. It's certainly not around anymore. Or, I mean, they're still around, but they're not nearly in the public consciousness the way it is.
One thing I remember about Stroh's, you could buy it in a 15-pack.
Weird.
Right?
Get an odd number of beers in about. Boy, my like weird, like obsessive compulsive tendencies don't like that at all. Like, wait a minute, how are they lined up in the box? Like, all of my logistical warning lights are going off right now.
Oh, I remember how they're lined up. It was 3x5.
Okay, weird.
So it was a slightly wider or longer 12-pack.
Okay, yeah, I guess it makes sense, but that's strange.
You know who else probably didn't like that? The fucking liquor store employees, because you think they have any shelves set up for 15-packs in the cooler?
Yeah, like, how do those fit on a pallet for the truck? Yeah. Like, everything's all messed up.
Yeah.
Threw a wrench into everything. I had a Stroh's recently. I had a Hamm's recently. I had a Schmidt recently. Like,
oh, really?
You can get the garbage. The garbage is still out there if you want it.
I had a friend that he proved it to me because his dad still drinks Blatz.
Oh, boy.
And they live way up in northern Minnesota. And by God, he's like, you could still buy a 24 of Blatz for dirt prices.
I don't know that I've ever seen a Blatz in the wild.
Blatz sounds made up. Blatz sounds like a beer they would drink on The Simpsons.
Yeah. Or on, like, Blatz sounds like a beer from a dystopian future movie. Like Blatz is the beer that Dennis Leary has in Demolition Man.
Or like that's the crap beer they drink on That 70s Show.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, because it sounds Wisconsin-y or...
Yes, to be fair, yes, it does. Like, that's what Red Foreman drinks, yeah.
Yeah, yep, there you go. Yeah, Red's a Blatz man.
He's got a t-shirt, a Blatz t-shirt. Wait, aren't you wearing a Schmidt's beer t-shirt right now?
I am, yeah. Or is it Schlitz?
Oh, it's Schlitz, I think.
It's Schlitz. This is Schlitz. Yeah.
I wasn't wearing my Schmitz one. That's the nice one, is the Schmitz one. For this muted Zoom call while we record our podcast, I have the Schlitz.
Hey, I got some fun kind of like pop culture trivia for you.
Okay.
You know what show Red Foreman doesn't appear on?
What is that?
The Simpsons.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought
Bring
that
it
might be
around.
it. I mean, to be fair, there's a lot of answers to that question that would be correct, but
like almost all of them.
Yeah, damn near every one. Yeah.
It's a tough question to get wrong.
Right. What? That's if I were doing trivia and that came across the question sheet, I'd be like, "Is this a trick? Is this worded funny, like a tricky SAT question? Like, we'll fool them with a double negative and really weed out the dum-dums? Is that what's happening here?
RoboCop the series. Fuck.
Yeah, Red Foreman does not appear on what television show? Fucking Dexter's Laboratory. Am I right? Sorry, we were looking for The Simpsons. I'm still right, though. Just causing a scene at bar trivia.
Yeah. I demand bar bucks.
This is bullshit. Get your manager on the phone.
It was promised half-priced fried mushrooms.
Oh, God, I would fucking destroy fried mushrooms right now. Fried mushrooms, an undervalued, overlooked, like cafe fried food snack.
They're a tasty treat. I don't think I enjoy them. Whereas I like them, you love them.
Yes, I would put fried mushrooms on the same tier as like a corn nugget or a hush puppy.
Oh, so it'd be one below for me.
Yeah, they're S tier. They're God tier in my book.
I will destroy a marriage for corn bites.
I've seen you fuck up a lot of corn nuggets in our travels.
Yeah. If you ever see me do comedy, I am probably fueled by corn nuggets at that time.
If you ever see Nathan on stage telling jokes, there is an 85% chance that there are at least a dozen corn nuggets in that belly.
I don't get, how do they make them? Like, how do they pouch the potato around the corn, the niblets?
I don't think it's potato. I think it's just like beer batter.
No, is it really? Oh, but even then, how do you get it? How do you envelop the corn nuggets?
I think the batter has got to be of a thickness and of a viscosity. I think you can just take like a tablespoon of cream corn and put it in thick enough batter. It should stay together.
I'm trying to maybe they train. I'm trying to who has a small hand, like a raccoon. You train a raccoon to grab the corn, dip its fist in the batter, and then with its iron will, put its hand in a deep fryer. Just long enough to build that base coat. To just
oh my God.
Holy shit. Showing that to the Chamber of Commerce. Okay, this is the part you're going to love.
All right, we
200 trained raccoons.
Wheel out the corn coons. We got to show these guys what we're doing here.
They do. They make the mini corn dogs. They just grip that little log of hot dog. They dip their fists. This is remarkably cruel.
You know who I believe does not employ a gaggle of corn coons?
Who would that be?
It would be The Simpsons, if I were to make a guess.
I mean, we got 9 seasons where that could be incorporated, but as of right now, you are correct.
Yeah, we've got some episodes we haven't seen yet, but we might get there.
We're starting things off with episode 12 of season 25, ?
You got it.
The Man Who Grew Too Much. It is Taco Tuesday at Springfield Elementary, and this leads to pure pandemonium in the halls. Like, it's literally life or death. I clearly a boy who enjoyed school lunches, but I don't even remember if we had tacos in school.
We for sure did. We had like hard shell taco day. I don't remember any of us being that over the moon about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like if they were good, because I remember the foods I like, but yeah. So
like
if they
square,
and I am not besmirching the good lunch ladies of Bottineau Elementary.
right? Yeah, I'm not coming at the lunch ladies of Carson High either, but like, I don't remember the tacos being a fucking highlight. Like,
and a good taco is too much work for a poor lunch lady. Like, there's a lot of like scooping and things that are delicate. If it's a hard shell, that's tough to feed to 600 kids.
What I'm vaguely remembering about Taco Day, though, was it was pretty hands off on their part. I think all they did was put the meat in the shell, and then the rest of it was up to you.
Oh, interesting.
So maybe it's kind of a treat for lunch ladies because they don't have to like do quite as much.
So you're just eating lettuce that has definitely been handled by the bare hands of kindergartners.
Oh, absolutely. Just reaching into a vat of just manhandled brown iceberg lettuce.
Sweaty lettuce, and like not from the lettuce, from the humans that have touched it.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's secondhand sweat on that lettuce for sure. I just had tacos fairly recently, but like real tacos, like street taco style tacos.
Oh, not lunch lady tacos.
Not lunch lady, not gringo tacos. No,
not served out of a 55-gallon drum of taco meat, and the meat's in quotes.
I did though eat some pretty questionable lettuce fairly recently. Like,
oh, good for you.
Like, you know, you buy a bag of already cut up lettuce, and then you let it sit in your fridge for like a day, and somehow it flirts with expiration. Like, you cut it open, it's like, this doesn't smell good. It's brown and wet. How did this even happen? I just fucking bought this.
Sometimes you got to do a real dangerous tango with lettuce because it's temperamental.
Yeah, lettuce is a fickle mistress. That's why cabbage and spinach are the way to go. Fuck a lettuce. You go granted, you can't really do that on a taco, but
just load your taco up with spinach.
Yeah, I'm just slamming fucking cabbage into my taco.
Yeah.
Which sounds super filthy, but
yeah, just gonna say, I don't want to hear about you slamming cabbage in any form.
Don't ever say slamming cabbage again. Jeez.
So it's during the Taco Tuesday festivities that Lisa learns that the veggies that are used for the taco spread are genetically modified not to rot. I think lunch lady Doris clues her into this.
Mm-hmm.
And in the secondary story, Marge is in a rush to get the good volunteer gigs at the church. So I kind of forgot that was a thing. You know, your church needs a lot of volunteers to do everything.
Yeah, church lives on fucking volunteer lifeblood for sure.
But she isn't able to get there in time because Jasper is really jaspering it up on the crosswalk. He's an old man. So the only gig left at the church is to teach the abstinence class.
Which Marge doesn't want to do.
Nope, that is not. Marge does not. I know Marge well enough. She would not be comfortable with that, but by God, she's got to do some kind of volunteering or she'll never hear the end of it.
She was really hoping for like bake sale and that kind of stuff, but those were taken up thanks to Jasper.
And of course, Lisa's being Lisa, and she's really raising a fuss over the GMOs to the point they have some kind of city council / school board city meeting. And then Lisa brings up, yeah, we got GMOs. We need to discuss this. And Skinner said his line is good. It's something like, well, here's the first video I saw when I typed it in. And they watched this very alarmist video about GMOs.
Yeah.
And how they will destroy us all.
This insane YouTube shock doc.
And if you look at the comments, the first one is from Mrs. Skinner, and it's like, this video scared my boy. That was a nice touch.
I like the idea that Mrs. Skinner, old lady Skinner, is out here commenting on YouTube videos.
Yeah. So Lisa realizes, well, wait a second, this seems very alarmist and perhaps not based in real science. So she does a little bit of kind of research into it, and she comes to the conclusion that, hey, maybe GMOs aren't the worst thing on Earth, you know, because They make plants better in some ways and less starving people and all that kind of stuff.
I like this little twist that Lisa like does the research and is like, oh, actually, no, like they're fine actually.
And in true Springfield form, the school does a 180. So now they are all about GMOs. Just pile them on the plate.
Yeah. To
the point that Monsanto has a booth at the school now.
So good.
And they get word that Lisa's the reason behind their embracing of GMOs. So Monsanto thanks Lisa by giving the family a tour of the Monsanto campus. It's there we get to meet what we think is Monsanto's head scientist, Sideshow fucking Bob.
Yeah, I wasn't ready for that. I had no idea. Like, Sideshow Bob's one of those characters they bring back, like, I feel like they got it timed out about perfectly.
Yes, very good point.
Where, like, I forget he exists just in time for them to do a Sideshow Bob episode.
And it's enough time between that I kind of forget what the prior episodes were about, because we get reminded of one as soon as he starts talking to the Simpsons, his fucking face falls off.
Which I don't remember. I don't remember what that was.
There was a face swap.
Oh,
episode.
Perfect.
Yep. So he had to reattach his goddamn face.
God, Face Off is a good movie.
I need to rewatch. I haven't seen it since it was in the theater.
I bet we had this same talk whenever we watched that episode of The Simpsons.
I hope your love of Face Off is as strong as it was then.
Yeah, I assume it is.
So we get, of course, a flashback as Bob explains how he got a job working for Monsanto. Basically, he had a boring job in the penitentiary making license plates, and Monsanto came, which this probably happens. Monsanto went to the prison and said, hey, we need subjects for our GMO experiments. So he was basically a lab rat getting tortured. They replaced the monkeys with prisoners, which I got a kick out of.
Yep, pretty dark.
Yeah, but a very a studious man. If you say anything, one thing you got to say about him is he's a hard-working fella. He took that time to also do his own research on the tests, enough that Monsanto applauded it and made him a honorary scientist.
Yeah,
he presented his findings on the studies,
and so he's kind of running the joint.
Yeah, but then it's like, hey, the real head scientist is coming. You got to get out of here.
Yeah,
that happens too. So it's really weird. What is he?
What is Bob's position in this company?
Because it goes from him holy shit, is he in charge? And then him and Lisa hit it off. But then the lady running the tour is okay, here comes the real head scientist. You have to get out of here.
Yeah. And
that's when the seed is planted that Bob and Lisa have a connection because they're both intelligent.
Yeah.
And they like fancy things. They like talking about literature and shit like that.
And they're both on the same page on this specific thing of GMOs.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, and what I like, this is a good swerve in the episode. Lisa wants to go back to visit Sideshow Bob, who has attempted to murder her sibling 8 times. You think?
Yeah, and there's a great moment where Bart's like, "What do you mean you want to hang out with Sideshow Bob? He's tried to kill us a bunch of times," and she goes, "He's tried to kill you." My God. I don't have a beef with the guy.
Yeah, so I gotta side with Bart on this. Jesus Christ, Lisa. And then I like how quick, Marge and Homer just acquiesce. Okay, sure, whatever.
I also want to point out, it's during this scene when they're discussing this of Lisa wanting to go hang out with Sideshow Bob. They're having dinner at the kitchen table, and that almost never happens on this show.
Oh, weird.
They have breakfast at the kitchen table and dinner at the dinner table, but they're eating spaghetti in the kitchen in this scene, which I wonder
why.
I was so thrown off by it that I notated it, dinner at the kitchen table. I'll be damned.
Huh, and you're right, wonder what the reasoning, because it's not like they needed anything in the kitchen.
Yeah, no idea, but...
Huh.
That's the extremely interesting thing that my discerning eye caught in this episode.
Now I'm going to pay attention to that. Like my eye will my brain will register when they're actually eating like a real evening meal at the kitchen table.
Like I'm sure it's happened before, but it has to be with such infrequency that I was like, I perked up like, oh, we're having dinner in the kitchen. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I got going on in my life. That was like a big moment for me this week.
You called other people to tell them that. Like,
yeah.
You're not going to believe what happened to me this week.
People who don't watch that show or listen to our show. I was like, hey, did you guys see this?
From an episode of The Simpsons from 2013?
Sir, this is a TJ Maxx. I don't know why you're calling us.
Our employees are busy refolding, so if you can stop pestering them.
I don't know what department to send you to, sir.
It's the parking lot. That's where we're going to need you.
They just leave me on hold until I hang up.
This happens a lot. So in the B story, Marge has been trying her damnedest to get this abstinence class to work, but it ain't. Because basically it's the bullies and the women who love the bullies, which is not a good group to push abstinence on. It's not working. She tries to do a finger puppet show to explain how to resist your urges, but it backfires because the finger puppets, the staples get entwined and they start rubbing up on each other, that was a good visual.
Yeah.
And the girl finger puppet's top comes off.
And then Kearney is just like, oh my God, can I take one of those home? Like Kearney's super turned on.
Yeah. So they're in bed and Marge is going over how she can't figure out how to make it work. And she convinces Homer to come. And Homer is like full of like aggression because he knows these kids are giving Marge a hard time. And he just comments that they've been abstinent for 2 days, which is Jesus. They're a married couple. But the Simpsons are a very amorous married couple.
Yeah, good for them.
2 days is probably hard for them. And the joke is, they're also repulsed at the image of Homer having sex that they just all signed the abstinence pledges.
Yeah.
So that was a fun way to tie up that story with a little bow.
Yeah, I think it's Jimbo is like 2 days. That means 3 days ago you guys were making the blob with 2 backs. Oh, yeah. So repulsed.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Yeah.
Did you get in your youth? Did you get abstinence thrown down your fucking gullet?
I'm trying to think if it was in sex ed, but not strongly. And I'm sure we probably had to watch a video in church, but I was or like Sunday school or like the teen version of Sunday school, but like in one ear out the other.
Yeah. You were too busy out here in these streets just pounding it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like...
Too late, boys, as you just strut out the door.
I don't think 14-year-old Nathan was really having a crisis of conscience at that time. Like, should I or shouldn't I? I would have been like Kearney looking for the finger puppets.
Yeah. Hey, can I...
That is a good scene that comes up later. Him looking in a puppetry store, looking at puppets.
So good.
Yeah.
It was really fucking thrown at us in the Catholic upbringing for
I can imagine.
Jesus Christ. I hear that if you have sex you get hit by a car. Okay, all right.
And not in a good way.
Yeah, not in the way you want, you sickos. Go to confession. I didn't do anything. Yeah. Fucking
thought crimes.
Dog shit.
Yeah. So while all this is happening, Lisa's spending an afternoon at some real fancy art museum. I guess would be the only way I could think of. Like paintings and sculpture and all this stuff. And having an enjoyable afternoon with Sideshow Bob, chit-chatting about this, that, and the other thing. And that's when some big overhead installation art piece falls. And Sideshow Bob is able to grab it and hold it, because it weighs several hundred pounds.
Yeah.
And that's when Lisa's like, what's up? Like something's off here. And that's when we learned that Sideshow Bob had not only been part of modifying crops, he'd been secretly modifying himself with animal DNA and plant DNA. And he basically is superhuman now.
Yep.
And that's when we find out that his ulterior motive, he didn't want to go to the museum with Lisa just out of the kindness of his heart. He wanted to steal the DNA of all these famous people. Like they have like Edison's eyebrows or something like that.
Yeah, Einstein's eyebrows or something.
Yeah, and all these things he could steal DNA from to make himself like even more of a superhuman.
There's a great line where he explains the plan to Lisa and he's like, yeah, why do you think I wanted to bring you to the art museum? And Lisa, with a real shaky voice, like she's about to cry, is like, I thought it was because it was tote bag day. Like she's like crushed on like a little girl level.
And who happens to be there but Bart? Because Bart always smells whatever Bob's got cooking, so he's there to interrupt those plans. And because of some kind of animal DNA, his... Bob has like just a trigger temper now, which is immediately set off by some tourist family that wants him to take some pictures of them. And now he is in an animalistic rage. And Bart and Lisa are on the run, but they can't outrun him because he has like puma DNA. He can, grasshopper thighs. It's grasshopper thighs is what it is. So they're on the dam where they've been before with him. That's a common place for them to end up.
Yep, like, second time we've been in the dam for sure. At least second.
And what is it? He hangs the two of them over and he's about to throw them. And that's when they convince him like that he has to sing a song and he can't resist because he's an egomaniac.
He's a showman.
So he's singing some song. Yeah, showman is the right word. Yeah. And he's singing a song. That's when... Marge and Homer show up because they've gotten word that something's going down. They got to save their kids. And they do that by Marge sicks the horny teens on him, which I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, because they're all pent up, full of fucking, they all got their chemicals up. So she sends them at him.
Yeah. And he's battling them off. And at one time, he has a python jaw, and he begins to consume Kearney. He's got like his whole head in his mouth. And that's when Lisa's like, enough. And like, has a talk to Bob about what he's become and this and that. You're a man of reason now, like you're acting like an animal. And he is like, you know what? You're right. There's only one thing for me to do. And Sideshow Bob flings himself off this giant dam.
Yeah.
And everyone assumes he dies because he takes some very hard hits on this. He's bouncing off a lot of shit.
Yeah, hits a couple of outcroppings on the way down. Not a clean jump.
Nope. Yeah, he's not getting any 9s from the judges on this one.
No.
So he floats to the bottom of the reservoir. Turns out he basically gains consciousness. It's like, oh yeah, I have gills. And he has gills now, and he's just walking along the bottom of the river. And that's when we get him stepping on a rake, which is a good throwback to his first appearance. And then that's the end of that story. Lisa and Bart are safe. Sideshow Bob is alive, and I'm sure we'll see him again in the next season or two. But then the episode ends with Ned and Edna at the dance lessons that Ned had referred to very early in the episode. But it turns out it was just a daydream in Ned's head, and Ned mentions Edna being dead.
Yeah,
like,
and
Jesus.
And he's got the black armband on and like a photo of her on the desk.
Yep, her and the original wife.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. What was her name?
I can't even think. Yeah, Maud.
Jeez. Oof. Man. Yeah, that was more painful than it should have been. But yeah, so, boy, I hope that's not all we're going to do there.
Yeah, I got a hunch, though.
I got a hunch it is, yeah.
Yep. And could that be the last line of Edna Krabappel dialogue? Because she says a few words during that dance scene.
During the daydream, yeah. Yeah, that was a bummer ending.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad they addressed it, but yeah, that was a bummer of an ending.
Yeah, I'm sure, I don't know, I'm sure we'll get more out of Ned in future episodes. I mean, obviously, it's not like they're going to have Ned not talk about it, but
yeah,
I hope, part of me hopes that wasn't the send-off. Like, we can do more than that, can't we?
One would think, but I got a hunch that's them putting an end to the story of Edna.
Yeah, I would wager you're right. Episode 13 is Diggs. I don't know if, I get that that's one of the characters' names in this episode, but it seems weird that we don't get like a fun pun title or anything like that.
I wonder too, if there's something we're missing, or
I mean, that could happen. We've been known to miss shit.
Yeah, we're a little dense sometimes.
We start off with a fucking bonkers couch gag.
Yeah.
I had to look that up. That is apparently a reference to this artist, Sylvain Chomet, which I am probably mispronouncing.
He did the Triplets of Belleville. That's the only thing I know of him from. Yeah,
and apparently that is what that is referencing specifically, that couch gag. I've never heard of that. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it was very it's not an appealing artist or animation.
Yeah, it's not quite like John K. Ren and Stimpy gross, but it was definitely like kind of unappealing. Seemed very European. I was like, okay, this is clearly some guy who they like.
So like 5-year-old French kids probably sit and watch that and clap. Like that for them, that's just normal animation.
Yeah, this is what cartoons look like.
Grim, ugly people in the shadows.
Episode starts, we're in church. We got an Indonesian guest speaker at the church. He's a preacher from Indonesia, and he's, there to collect. I've definitely seen that in church before. Like, we got a guest speaker who's from a different country looking for a...
I don't think I've ever seen that. They probably didn't make it to the small Lutheran churches in rural North Dakota.
Yeah, but I mean, the Catholics trotted them out every so often whenever they could.
Yeah. Catholics probably have a circuit.
Probably. You go on a tour. I'm gonna do the Catholicism run. Pack a bag.
Squeeze a few more shekels out of these people.
Yeah. So he has like a story about like a kid in the village who's sick, and so we're gonna pass the collection plate around a second time. Bart super into this. Bart really wants to help. This gets Bart right in the charity bone, I guess. And he doesn't have any money, and Marge doesn't have any money. He begs Homer to lend him some money, and Homer lends Bart $20, but like really, really adamant that this is a loan. Like, okay. I mean, I don't think you should be that much of an asshole about it to someone who isn't your 8-year-old son, or 10-year-old son.
Yeah, like I think they wanted it to be funny, but I just found it dumb how quickly he was like repetitively asking for the money back.
Yeah, we get a long montage of him just being like, "You got my money? You got my money? You got that money? Like he's just hounding Bart."
It's dumb. Like I just like this is bad writing. Like,
well, it gets us to where we need to be, which is Bart ostracized by everyone.
Yep.
And the way that comes about is he gets desperate, and on the playground, I believe at Milhouse's suggestion, starts offering to eat weird shit for money. And so people are coming up, "Eat this, I'll give you a quarter. Eat this, I'll give you $1."
His line is, "Attention schoolyard, I will now eat anything for money except money." And that brought a memory back that I had not thought of.
Oh boy.
10, 15 years ago, I used to be part of do you remember a thing called Tiny Chat?
Nope.
It was like a proto Zoom. It was a way you could get on a Zoom, like you and friends could be on camera on your computer, and you'd all be in a room together. So it was Zoom, Skype before Skype, probably.
Okay.
Another way to like, and that the new metal music message board I used to be part of. If there were people up late at night, a few of us would get on Zoom. And one particular sad sack was on there. We were all in there just bullshit. He just was lamenting his lack of money and how things were going his way. He lived at home, didn't have a job, just a real charity
the classics,
case.
Playing the hits.
Yep, right. And he was always broke. And turned out he had $5 to his name. He had one $5 bill. It was all the money he had in the world. One of the other members offered to PayPal him $10 if he ate the $5 bill. And He sat there and he thought about it, and he's like, "You'll do it." And he's like, oh, "I swear to God." I was like, "You know me. I'm not a shitty person that way, but you got to eat the $5 bill." And watching on grainy camera footage this grown man think about it, and he's like, "Okay." And so what he did is he doused it in hand sanitizer to get rid of the poisons.
Okay.
But it was like dripping hand sanitizer. See how gross that would be? And he balled it up and just tried to power choke it down and literally almost died on camera.
Yeah, because he's trying to choke down a wet fucking $5 bill.
And he hacked it up, and he almost, it took him forever to catch his breath. He had a runny nose, his eyes were running. So he almost died. And it's like, God damn it, man, you can't let this beat you. If you let this beat you, you're never going to get ahead in life. And he sat there, and he thought about it, and he chewed and chewed on that damp $5 bill. Oh. And when he finally swallowed it, it was like the heartwarming part of a movie where someone overcomes an obstacle. We legit cheered. His name was Fats, which is funny because he was skinny. And that was always known as the night Fats ate money for cash.
Oh, my God. Just a triumphant, like the end of Mighty Ducks.
Yeah, him like spreading his mouth apart so he could see that it was gone. Like, even though we trust you, but he had to prove it. He had to let the world know.
If you guys would have been in person, you'd have carried him out on your shoulders.
Yep. I just always like the term, I ate money for cash.
Yeah, that's very funny. That'd be a good t-shirt.
And he kept saying, he's like, you don't understand how like strong a dollar bill is. It ain't like regular paper, that was his folly, is he thought it'd be like eating a piece of slightly thicker notebook paper. Those things are meant to be tough.
Yeah, like American currency has cloth with the paper. Like that's serious business. You take some work to eat a bill.
I hope there's someone whose job was just to every once in a while keep an eye on these videos just to make sure no one's planning to overthrow the government. And just 4 a.m. they turn it on and it's just a grown man choking to death on a $5 bill as 5 other people cheer him on.
That's probably technically illegal, right? To destroy
right? Yeah, that was discussed
American
too.
currency.
And then it came up, I was like, how did it go through you? He's like, I kind of had an upset stomach, but I hope it's out of me. Like,
you are what you eat, and I am money, baby.
I hope it's lining like a section of his large intestine. There's just a unfolded $5 bill.
It's still begrudgingly making its way through his system.
Like a centimeter a month.
You ever get like playground bully goated into fucking eating something that you shouldn't eat?
No, I don't think. I remember I was always good about seeing that, like, it's like seeing a storm forming and just making sure to not be there for that.
Getting out of it.
That makes sense. Yep. I'll go over here now. If there's any kind of like daring going on.
Yeah.
Like, I remember the daring of licking a flagpole when it was 20 below.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I think a kid in our class did that.
Yeah, I mean, it's real. Your tongue gets stuck.
Yep.
I did it when I was like too old. I was like, I didn't even get goaded. I was just somewhere. I was like 12. I was like
35.
And I put my tongue on there for a second and it stuck. Like I had to pull it off and there's like a little layer of skin. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, and good God, did my tongue hurt after that.
Yeah, I'll fucking bet.
Yeah. So just say no to licking flagpoles, kids.
That's your
take
PSA.
Anything. Yeah.
Knowledge is power. Like, that's the more you know.
God, the best part too is like eating a goddamn dissection frog is such a jump up.
Oh my God.
That's a meal. Like,
yeah.
That's a fist-sized frog.
Yeah, this escalation, that's where it goes, is the Jimbo comes through and is like, I'll give you 20 to eat this frog, and it's a biology lab frog pinned to the mat. And Lisa pleads with him, please don't do this. If you do this, you'll always be known as the kid that ate the frog. And immediately I'm like, yeah, that we wouldn't have let that go in my youth.
Yep, you don't want to be that kid.
That kid would be labeled that in his graduation yearbook for fucking sure, where I came from. But Bart does it, chokes down a fucking dead biology lab frog, and immediately ends up in the hospital. Because of course he does. Because they're full of formaldehyde. Like, they're full of poison. And now, so, like, he, gets there's a quick joke of, like, oh, I got the $20 I owe you, and gives it to Homer, and then Homer immediately gets a $4,000 hospital bill from Dr. Hibbert. Yeah. Good. Yeah, exactly. You be a shithead about $20 to your own kid. And then Bart goes to school the next day, gets on the bus, and nobody will sit with him. Now Bart is an absolute pariah. Even Milhouse can't be seen with Bart.
Yep.
Milhouse has to be like, listen, I can't be the kid who's friends with the kid who ate the frog. I'm sorry, Bart.
Yeah. That was good.
Once we're at the school, the bullies come at him. They're gonna, even though they're the ones who perpetrated all this, they're gonna come at him and give him some grief. But a motherfucking falcon comes through and scares them off. And
my first, like, are we gonna have a falconry episode? By God,
Nathan, we have a falconry episode, my friend. And you know how hype I was for that.
Yeah, they finally answered your letters.
Yeah, so now we've gotten a 4-H episode and a falconry episode just for me.
Yeah, what's left?
Yeah.
What are your other passions in life?
Yeah, what else am I super into? We could do a DDR episode. We get a DDR mention in this batch, but not a full-on DDR episode like King of the Hill did. Trying to think. What else do I care about?
That's awesome. That's that short of a list.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Those three things: 4-H, falconry, and Dance Dance Revolution. So the bullies come at him. Falcon scares him off, and the Falcon belongs to this kid, Diggs, I think is the name of the kid, right? Diggs is the kid, and Freedom is the Falcon.
Yeah, Digby is the kid's name, but they must call him Diggs.
Okay, yeah. So Diggs, played by Daniel Radcliffe, who I have never seen the Harry Potter movies because I'm not interested at all, which means I've never seen Daniel Radcliffe in anything.
Yeah, I have a couple smaller indie movies, but
that horse,
I did not recognize
that weird horse
the voice.
one.
Yeah, or I saw Swiss Army Man. Isn't he in that?
No idea.
Yeah, that's a trippy ass movie.
Good trippy or dumb trippy?
I think good, but not great.
Oh, okay. All right.
Worth seeing because it's so weird.
Weird movies usually fall in one of those two camps for me.
Yeah. Yeah, it's too weird or it's good.
So Diggs has resurrected the previously dead and dormant
It's like the late 50s.
Springfield Elementary Falconry Club. I love all the visuals in this Falconry Club because everything looks like it was abandoned since the 50s. And I like the little hat that the Falcon wears. I adore the little Falcon hood. I'm a big fan. Someday, Nathan, I'm going to get deep into falconry. I'm going to own several birds. I'm not gonna.
I want that for you.
Thank you so much. I'm not gonna just do my falconry bit that I do on stage. So people will have to come to a show to hear what I have to say about.
Do you
falconry.
feel people can tell on stage that that it's fictitious? Do you think it would help? Like, do you think they would feel it in their bones if you were an actual falconer?
Right. Yeah, and it's not fictitious.
You can have a confidence.
I have a yearning to get deep into falconry.
Well, this could be it. This episode of The Simpsons might be the push you need.
This is a sign. Yep, this is a self-addressed stamped envelope from the Reuniverse. I just gotta respond. So Bart starts spending all his time with Diggs and Freedom and getting deep into falconry. Homer assumes that Bart is out drinking and is 100% cool with it.
Yeah.
He's just like at the kitchen table, like they're all just hanging out, and Marge is worried, like, where's Bart? He should have been home all this time ago. And Homer's just like, oh, I know what he's doing. He's out getting hammered. He's out getting his first beers. And Homer is so okay with this.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, like he used to always kind of be a dud. He's like, he's 10 years old.
Yeah, he's 10. Like, I get like a shit dad who drinks too much having this attitude, but not at 10.
Yeah.
Little too early.
Yeah.
So we get a lot of like montage stuff of them, hanging out, Diggs and Bart and the Falcon. Diggs is weird. Like, he's just a little off, like, in everything. And it goes way off the rails here because they're hanging out in a tree, Diggs, Bart, and the Falcon. And Diggs is like, oh, you got to watch this. And he goes out on the edge of the limb and just jumps out of the fucking tree and falls to the ground.
Yeah, that's a trouble sign.
And there's a fun line where Bart goes, say something so I know you're not seriously injured. And he goes, I'm seriously injured. That's a fun joke.
That was good. Yeah.
So yeah, jumped out of the tree, broke his arm. So now he's in the hospital. The bird is now staying at the Simpson household because of course it is.
There's that great scene where the bird is on Abe's head and it's like kneading his head with its talons.
Yep.
His line is, oh, you Korean gals know what a soldier likes.
Yep, that's funny. And Homer's like mad that the bird won't hang out with him and watch football. He's like mad the bird is disinterested. He's like, they're called the Falcons. You're telling me there's nothing in this for you? Like he can't handle that the bird doesn't want to watch football. Bart goes and visits Diggs in the hospital. Diggs has his arm in a cast and it's all full of signatures. And Bart's like, oh, you got a lot of visitors coming by. And he's like, no, I signed them all myself with people who I wish were here to sign them, which is an insane thing to do.
Yep, absolutely.
Secondly, if you paused and looked at all of the names on there, like a lot of them just kind of throwaway celebrity names. But the one that fucking cracked me up, or the two really, the TARDIS, which is
I saw that.
which is the time machine from Doctor Who, not a person who could sign something, and Dalek number 7, which I really laughed at because a Dalek also not going to sign something, and I like that he has a favorite Dalek in a completely uniformed robot race from Doctor Who. So Bart, like legit concerned about Diggs because Diggs explains, I thought I could fly.
Yeah.
Like I really thought I could. So that's why I jumped out of this fucking tree. And that's when Hibbert shows up with a different doctor, a psychological doctor. And Diggs gets transferred to a psychiatric hospital. The parents super weirded out by this, the Simpsons being like, we can't really have you go visit them, like, but they're trying to dance around it and not just be like, hey, your friend is Looney Tunes, so we don't want you to go visit them. So like, to be fair, they're at least trying to soften it and not just being like, no, absolutely not.
That would be a weird thing as a parent to have to like make a decision on.
Yeah, a weird thing to have to, A, decide on, and then B, break to your 10-year-old, you know? And then Bart the next day is at the school, and Diggs just shows up because he's out on a day pass. That's, I don't think, a real thing when it comes to psychiatric hospitals. Yep. I guess I don't know for sure. But I don't.
I think they would really frown on unsupervised day passes.
Yeah, like, oh, sure. Yeah, you can go out for a day. You got a thing? Yeah, go for it. You just jumped out of a tree, child? Yeah, why not? He's out on a day pass because we're having a falconry contest. Everyone in this town, apparently, is super into falconry. Cletus, comic book guy who still has his wife there. Apparently, the wife is canon.
That. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Mr. Burns has a falcon. That makes sense to me.
That adds up absolutely.
And during the contest, Diggs frees all of the other birds, and they all just fly away. And then he goes back to the hospital. Milhouse takes Bart back, and that's the end of the episode. Like, it just fucking wraps up at the end. I don't think this was a good episode. As much as I was into the subject matter.
Yeah, see, I think I kind of found it. Well, I don't think it was that funny, but it was kind of sweet. Like,
see, I think it like brushed up against like we're having on a very special episode of The Simpsons, Bart learns about mental health. Like, I thought that it like butted up against that, but then at the end, it's just like, he gets a day pass and then goes back to the hospital, and that's the end of it. Like, I thought it was like if they were trying to do like a serious episode of The Simpsons, which they do sometimes, I don't think they did a very good job of it.
There was one joke earlier. I think it's when Bart first realizes he made a mistake eating the stuff, and he reaches out to Milhouse. Oh, either that or it's when he owes the money. He's under stress, and he just needs Milhouse to be a friend. And Milhouse was like, okay, I was going to save this for like a really bad thing, but here you go. Did you know there really was a Duncan Hines? That is such an insanely boring thing for a 10-year-old boy to be excited about.
Yeah, he's like, well, I have a fun fact that I've been saving for a rainy day. Like, that was his break glass in case of emergency fun fact.
Did you know there really was a Duncan Hines?
So dumb.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there was some good use of music, too. We had that good, I think it's the Sandpipers.
Yeah.
Sing that Saturday song.
Yeah, there's some good music in it, some good visuals. I just, like I said, outside of, holy shit, we're doing a Falcon episode? No, this one was not for me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. The good parts are good, but the bad parts are pretty bad. Like, I had the whole owing your dad money, like, I thought that was just bad writing, but
yeah, I thought it was just kind of an all over the fucking place episode.
So yeah, I think I'm a step ahead of you on that one for enjoyment wise, but yeah, you brought me back to reality, the crushing feeling of realizing
that's what I'm here for. I'm here to bring you down,
destroy that joy.
Yeah. That's a t-shirt. It rhymes and everything.
Well, let's see if episode 14 can turn things around. The Winter of His Content. We get an Operation board game. I say couch gag in air quotes because there's no couch.
Yeah, no couch to be seen.
Yeah, but that Operation thing, that was new, right? I don't think I'd ever seen that.
Yeah, that was new.
Episode starts with Homer and Marge on a night out. They're about to get up in it. They are all over each other, going through the house, trying to get to the bedroom. They're almost there, but a phone call interrupts it. They ignore it. I think Lisa is the one that answers. And there's an emergency. Turns out Grandpa's home is getting closed down due to violations.
Yeah.
We get a couple good gags of, I think, like the Coke machine just emits rats.
That joke is so good because there's the inspector pushes, there's two buttons, Coke and Diet Coke. He pushes Coke and a rat comes out. And then he pushes Diet Coke and this gaunt, super skinny rat comes out. I'm like, fuck, that's funny. Good for you, The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Speaking of good for you, The Simpsons, like, as we've talked about before, The Simpsons keep heat alive in their relationship.
Damn right do they.
They are absolutely sex nuts coming into the house, like paying the babysitter without breaking stride. They are just
a babysitter we've never seen before, just some random teenage woman in Springfield.
Yep, I don't think we have ever seen her before. But yeah, just through the house, just like good for you guys.
Yeah. So against Homer's wishes, he's resigned to it, but he sure doesn't want it to happen. They got to bring Abe back to their house to live with them, and they're loading his shit into the back of the wagon. And that's when Marge notices Jasper and the old Jewish guy have no one coming to take them. And Marge has a big heart, so she decides they're coming too, and they're going to put them up in the basement.
On cots. The men their age can't be on cots. I can't be on a cot at my age.
Oh my God. Waking up after sleeping on a cot, I would have to go right to the emergency room.
Yep. Just
put this cot on a gurney. Don't even get me out of the cot. Bring me right to the hospital.
Take me to the glue factory. Fucking put one in me. Let's wrap it up. I had a good run.
Yeah. And also, this is 2 episodes in a row with Jasper, which has not happened a lot lately.
Yeah, Jasper's around.
Yeah. We went like whole seasons without Jasper being featured at all, but
we get a lot of the old Jewish guy too, who I like. I like him.
Yep, definitely. And then the B story, it's gym class. And they're in the locker room, and it's revealed that Nelson has to wear his mom's hand-me-down underwear.
Insane.
I think we get sad Nelson. Like, everyone's laughing at him. And that's when Bart comes to his aid because he has to wear Homer's hand-me-down. It's like, looks like he's wrapping a comforter around himself. Like,
they're so big. They are way too big for Bart.
Like the elastic slack is slung over his shoulder, like
it looks
like a caveman outfit.
It looks like when Hulk turns back into Bruce Banner and is like trying to hold his pants up in that Ed Norton Hulk movie. Just like, oh God, oh no. That image of Nelson Muntz in the pink and purple frilly panties. Holy shit, I was laughing. I laughed in a batch that I don't think had me dying laughing all that often. This was one that really got hold of me. That
was, and I like this because it's like, where is this gonna go? Because I knew it was gonna be, Bart stood up for Nelson, so Nelson's gonna somehow return the favor in some way.
Yeah.
But back with the other story, the Olds are driving Marge and Homer nuts. And I think it's Lisa is in the living room and Homer's griping. And she's like, we're going to learn how to take care of you by watching how you take care of Grandpa and stuff like that. And that's when Homer casually mentions that his grandfather is alive, which is insane. Abe looks like he's in his 90s.
Yeah. So Abe's dad is still alive.
Yep.
Or maybe it's Homer's maternal grandpa. But either way, holy shit.
Never addressed. And it's never addressed again.
No, he just mentions it in passing. And he and Lisa's conversation moves on.
Yeah, so I got a huge kick out of that. So Homer is still begrudgingly putting up with doing stuff with the 3 Olds. But it's kind of during a day of, I guess I would maybe call it just out running errands, grabbing lunch. That's when it just dawns on Homer that he kind of enjoys their lifestyle and just embrace, like how Abe olds him up. Like he pulls his pants way up. He physically pulls his jowls out
and hunches him over.
Yeah. Say something old. It's like, I can't think of anything. It's like, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So that was a good scene. Just like Homer always, he just takes to it quickly. That becomes his life.
Homer's a malleable man. He comes in and out of his interests very quickly.
And this interest, Marge is very concerned about. And I think it's when she's doing something with Patty and Selma that she realizes she may no longer be attracted to him. He has fake long earlobes, which is insane.
Yeah. like clip on long earlobes.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bart is kidnapped by the bullies in the middle of the night and is made like an honorary bully. And it's during this time that a text is sent out that some legendary bully named Chester has announced there's going to be a summit. And like, I think it's an abandoned Krusty Park is what it is.
Yeah, an like abandoned Krusty land.
Six Flags over Krusty, I think is what the sign says.
Yeah.
Because they got to take the train in to see it. And this is where it becomes like the Warriors.
Fuck yeah, it does.
Yeah. This faceless DJ kind of giving the play-by-play on what's going to happen.
The music is so good.
Yeah, this was so good. And like we get a Warriors-esque scene of all the local bullies getting on the subway. We have like, there's one that's all just like the baseball mascots.
And they're called the baseball furries, which is very funny.
Yeah. So that was very good. It's them. They go to it. It's just like the movie. There's one head guy talking about like maybe like gang unification or something.
Yeah.
And he's doing the "Can you dig it?" which is right from the movie. And it's during this time someone discreetly pulls the slingshot out of Bart's back pocket and shoots that guy like with whatever. And they play it off like he's dead. They don't say that, but they play it off and it's complete pandemonium. And that bully is like, "Hey, we found the kid. We found the kid. He's who did it." But Bart's able to wriggle loose, and then the Springfield bullies get free, and that's where things get real wild, because now they're a wanted group. And the whole thing is, can they get back to Springfield without, having to deal with any of these other groups?
It's just the Warriors. Like, they just do the Warriors through the whole back half.
Good movie. I enjoy it.
I love the Warriors a lot.
Yeah. Oh, and the speaking of the baseball furries, they're like waiting for them. And like they somehow figure a way around it, but I think it's the capital. No, it's the Shelbyville, or I think it's the Shelbyville thing is there. That mascot, and Nelson sacrifices himself. He just like grabs it and rolls down a hill, like remember me.
Yeah.
So they get back to Springfield. They're on the beach. They're all excited. And that's when they have the original gang that started all this shit we have with the 3 glass Coke bottles. It's is it bullies come out and play?
Yeah, I think that's what he's saying. Yeah.
Yeah. And he makes fun of like, why am I doing this? Like this, like, clicking these bottles makes no sense.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Warriors Come Out to Play was an ad-lib in that movie.
Really?
I could be wrong, but I think that's right.
Oh, interesting.
Man, that movie's fucking good. That movie's really
I can stand
good.
To rewatch it, yeah.
Like,
I remember seeing that really young on like TBS at like 10 o'clock at night.
Oh, okay. I for sure didn't see it till I was like in my late 20s.
Yep. Then I finally got around to seeing like a full unedited copy. I mean, that's a fun movie.
I think I saw it around the time because it was a big deal at the time. Rockstar made a The Warriors video game.
Oh yeah, you're right.
And I remember being like, "What is this?" And some of my like film nerd college friends being like, "What do you mean? What is this? We're watching The Warriors right fucking now."
Well,
God, that movie's good.
In that instance, their tastes were spot on.
Exactly. That was a fork in the road moment for me on how I could have turned out. I'm glad I went the road where I watched The Warriors.
And it kind of feels like this bully group is maybe older and bigger than Bart's, so that they're kind of in some peril. They might even be outnumbered too. But it's during this time because they're old. They're up they're up when some people haven't even went to bed yet. It's like 5 a.m. Homer and the 3 old guys are out doing a walk because that's exercise for old people, and Homer's all about that. And he has a good line. It's he sees the bully fight in the distance, and is it like, I think I know that one kid.
Yeah.
Or because it's fucking Bart. It's his only son. It's such a good line.
I think I know that one. Yeah, man. Yeah. I would hope so.
And the other 3 old guys won't help him. And I think that's when Homer kind of realized, okay, I'm not cut out for this. I'm too young to act like this. And he goes over there and saves the day, and he scares off the older bullies. And that's kind of really it. It just kind of ties. I mean, that was the end. Do they survive? They do.
Yeah, like, Bart and the bullies make it out alive, and Homer comes to the realization that he's not actually an old man yet.
Yep. And then the one thing we don't get, there's still, as far as I know, those 3 guys are still living at the Simpson house. Like, they don't go back, I don't think.
Yep, that's not wrapped up. That didn't occur to me, but yep, we didn't tie that thread. We're probably meant to assume that the retirement home, fixed the
magically fixed itself. Yep.
Yep.
This episode was just a meh for me until the Warriors aspect came in.
Likewise, I was like, okay, Homer's going to be an old man. This, it makes for some fun visuals. Like you said, him with his fucking pants hiked way up, all hunched over. And then, there's a fun quick scene in the bingo parlor of the old man who can't hear the bingo caller.
Yeah.
But
God, I forgot. What game are we playing?
Yeah. What game are we playing? Bingo. Well, damn it. And he throws because he thinks the guy's calling bingo. That was a fun who's on first joke.
There was a good line, too. It's like, Bart's like, who's Chester? When the legendary bully sends him Chester, he's like the greatest bully ever. It's like, rumor has it he once wedgied a kid in half. Thought that was a good line.
Yep, that's very funny.
But yeah, thanks to the Warrior stuff, that elevates it higher than your average episode of this era.
Yeah, as a whole, I'm right there with you where I the whole time was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. And then as soon as they got on the subway and that DJ started talking, and then you see the names of the gangs and shit, I was like, oh, cool, a Warriors reference. And then they bought into it super fucking deep, and I was like, okay, this is great. Yeah. This I'm very into.
Yeah, that was, I like the direction that was going.
Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun one.
Yeah, I could handle another one of those down the road.
Yeah.
Bring it back.
Yep, why not? Episode number 15 is The War of Art. I love, in the beginning here, where Lisa is hella obsessed with a guiney pig.
That was very good.
Lisa wants a guinea pig, and it is full on little girl fury, wants a guinea pig. And I loved the scene at the breakfast table because she's badgering both of her folks, and they sit her down and have a contract printed out that they have her sign, you're responsible for this and that and this and that, and sign here and initial here. And then so she's flying high, runs out of the room, and Homer just throws it away, just I love the kid contracts because. What does he say? They get what they want and we get to feel like we didn't cave or whatever he says. And then they go to a guinea pig rescue, which is already funny.
Yeah. A parking lot far too large for that business.
Yep, absolutely.
As I noticed.
And this scene goes on for so long, and I love it so much because... I think we have talked about this before way back when, in the Lisa Gets a Pony episodes, where Lisa is so often this level-headed, too smart
logical,
for her age, coldly logical little girl that sometimes we forget that she's a little girl.
Yeah.
And she loses her mind.
This one looks like a pumpkin.
Have you ever seen a pinker nose? Oh my God, this one I have now.
There's a scene during all that where Homer starts talking to the woman that runs the guinea pig rescue, and she says something a lot of them are rejects from the big guinea pig stores, which is awesome. It's and they, they're not always perfect. Sometimes they have a case of the bubble foot or the slobbers. The slobbers is such a good name for a guinea pig disease. And Homer's not even listening. You've never been married, have you?
Yeah. God damn it. This whole sequence is so good. And it goes on for so long. Her just It looks almost like it's fast forwarded. She's running from cage to cage. Oh my God, this one. Oh my God, that one. Oh, it's so fluffy. Oh, this one's so cute. Losing her fucking mind. And then they take it a step further because they're there for so long that they have to drive down the street and stay in a motel.
Yeah.
The whole time, Lisa's still raving, ranting about, and this one, and then that one. And then the sun comes up, they get back. It's kind of all one shot. They get back in the car. She's like, Dad, give me your phone. I need to look at the photos again. Oh my God, this one, that one, as they drive back down the street and go back to that place.
Yeah. Rank your top 10, at least, or best to worst. No, wait, worst to best.
Oh God, she is so enamored that it takes in the overnight stay for her to pick out a guinea pig. She finally...
What's its name?
She finally picks one. His name is Pokey.
Yeah.
And get Pokey home. She's made like a little habitat for him. And he immediately escapes. The guinea pig is immediately on the loose. And he gets into the wall through a classic, like, Tom and Jerry mouse hole in the bottom of the wall.
Yeah.
Like, perfect archway. Only in cartoons does that exist.
Yep, that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist in an inhabited home anywhere.
Right. No one has a perfect little hobbit door at the base of their baseboards. But Pokey gets into the wall immediately, and she can hear him scratching around in there. And then, like a chest burster from Alien, he just comes tearing through the wall and the sailboat painting.
Yeah, that hangs above the couch. I believe. Yeah,
hangs above the couch. Which didn't we establish in a very old episode that Marge painted that?
Oh, really? Oh, I know we definitely have a couple where it discusses her early fascination with painting.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I had it in my head that she painted that. But either way, sailboat painting, absolutely ruined. It also occurred to me at this point that I bet that with minimal Googling, you could find someone selling the Simpsons sailboat painting, right?
I bet.
Because I immediately was like, oh, that would be a fun thing to own. Like a print of the Simpsons sailboat. It has to exist. And hang it above your couch. Like, that'd be a fun thing to have in your apartment.
There you go. Treat yourself.
Yeah, so I'm going to look into that. So now Homer and Marge pretty distraught, but she sees the opportunity. Well, now we can go to an art. She brings up an art gallery. We can go to an art gallery and buy a replacement. Homer shuts that down pretty quickly. They instead go what I refer to as the Nathan Folsebach route and go to a motherfucking garage sale.
Yeah. At the Van Houtens.
At the Van Houtens. You are a garage sale boy.
I am.
How has your summer been? Have you been to garage sales, Nathan?
You got to be an early riser, and that's what kicks my ass with a lot of these.
Man, I would have figured that you, of all people, would have been out there hustling.
It's crossed my mind that I need to, but
Nathan, there are baseball cards and old video game consoles that need
just waiting
purchased
to be discovered, but nope, here I am slacking.
They're out there. They're swaying. They're doing the Axl Rose snake dance real seductively,
begging to get purchased.
Yeah, but here you are sleeping in like a chump.
Yeah, lounging around.
Man, age has befallen you.
Yep. Shameful is the word you're looking for.
Know who you fucking are anymore.
There's a great. You might be about to touch on this at the yard sale. Is it Homer that notices all of the little violins, I believe?
Yeah.
And Kirk walks up. Milhouse played the violin for years, and till we found out the vibrations were screwing up his bones.
Oh my God.
God. I love weird destroyed Milhouse.
Yeah. The more we learn about Milhouse, the better. The more little details.
Sickly boy.
Yeah. Milhouse has problems.
Yeah, he sure does.
So that's where we find this lighthouse painting at the Van Houtens that they're selling. We find out a little history that Kirk bought it for his bachelor apartment while he and Luann were separated.
He points out he didn't own a mirror, so he'd use the chrome in the picture frame to shave.
Yeah. Oh, God, Kirk.
I like this, but where Homer, he isn't against the lighthouse painting, but he's like, how about this picture of a rockin' jukebox? You know it's rocking because there's music notes coming out.
So good. It looks like a velvet painting. Like it's...
Yeah. That is totally something you could have purchased in 1991.
Also something that Homer would for sure be into. Like,
yeah.
It's all very on brand.
Yep.
They buy the painting. Van Houten throws in the violins because then we cut to the Simpson household where Homer is throwing these violins into the fireplace and then skewering marshmallows onto the bows and roasting them over the burning violins. That's a good visual. Also, I'm pretty sure violins are fucking expensive. He could have probably flipped those.
No shit, yeah.
It blows my mind. Like, this town, Fargo, cannot support a true blue every weekend comedy club, but has a violin store. Downtown, where real estate is expensive. A long-running, apparently successful violin store.
They've done all of my family's violin work over the years.
Oh, yeah, have they?
Good.
It's dyed in the wool now.
My restringings, they always they double check the knobs, which I appreciate.
They always got my favorite rosin brand.
Yeah, the rosins, all the different flavors.
We know so little about violins that my bench is now empty. That's all I had.
Yep. I just aired it out. That was one.
You
didn't save anything.
You said knobs and I said rosin, and we're tapped out. That's it.
Yeah.
Marge doesn't care for the chrome picture frame on this thing, which it's a frame on a canvas, which you don't do. It's like it's like a mounted canvas, so it sticks out from the wall an inch, and then a frame on it. Not a real thing.
Yeah.
But whatever. This is what we need for The Simpsons to advance the story. So she pops that off there, and then they see, there's the signature of the artist on the bottom there. Lisa Googles him real quick, and turns out that this thing probably worth some fucking money, which Homer's thrilled about. Marge,
50,000 is what they find out.
They end up taking it to the. I think this is the point. They take it to the auction house, and he says 80 to 100. 80 to $100,000 is what this painting.
That'd be pretty nice. Yeah.
And Marge says, think about it. It'll be great. We could sell it and then split it with the Van Houtens. She takes it as a given fact that that's what they'll do, and Homer is like, not on board for this at all. We get a long montage because he immediately goes, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then we get a montage of him continuing to say, whoa, whoa, whoa in the car and at the dinner table. I think they even come back from commercial and he's still saying it.
I got a kick out of that.
So they go back and forth on this for like a long time. Like, Marge insisting that it's the right thing to do. Homer being like, they sold it to us. It's ours. We can do what we want with it. And then like they haggle a bit on maybe we don't split it. Maybe it's 25%, 75%. They go back and forth until Homer eventually gets Marge like broken down to be like, okay, fine. We'll sell it and we'll keep it all. But we have to never, ever tell the Van Houtens about it. And then they look, and Milhouse is right there in the treehouse. He has heard everything they've said.
With his inhaler.
Yeah, with his inhaler. I think this is a fun moral conundrum.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what my note says too. This episode isn't anything great, but the moral argument is good.
Yeah, like, I think that if it's somebody I'm close with, I think I snap off a couple for them.
Yeah. I mean, I ain't giving him half, but I give him a little something.
Yeah. Like if you sold me a painting and I found out it's worth $100,000 and I sell it, I would maybe kick back $5,000.
Okay, that sounds fair.
You think so? You think that's fair?
Yep. I don't like...
Because you paused a long time, and I was like, I'm about to find out that I'm a fucking asshole, maybe.
No, I was trying to think of what my number would be, but like, I think it's insane to assume that person should give you half.
Right.
If that's like, because that's what ends up happening in this episode is...
Right. If I bought it from a complete stranger, 100% to me. If I just bought it at a garage sale from someone I didn't know.
Yeah. But yeah, $5,000, that seems fair to me.
Yeah.
Here's a taste.
I don't think you go over 10%.
Yeah. Yep. 10, 12. 10 grand could be fine too, I guess, but anything more than that, I ain't doing it.
Also, 10 grand's going to be more than 10% after taxes. Like 5 is probably going to be around 10%.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
I disagree with you that this isn't a great episode. I think this might be my favorite one of the whole batch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, God, you're right. The guinea pig. The guinea pig shit is an insane way to get to this.
And it's so good and goes on so long, and then it's still good from here. Like I think the fight that Marge and Homer are having is super interesting, raises some good questions on what would you do in this situation. So Milhouse overhears everything. They buy him off with toys. They buy off Milhouse. And there's a great scene of them going through the toy store, buying him anything he wants. And then Homer says something along the lines of, boy, you're sure smart, Milhouse. No wonder Lisa's in love with you. And he goes, she is? And Lisa's right there and goes, I am? And then it smash cuts to now Lisa also has her own shopping cart full of stuff.
Full of toys.
Yeah. So good. But then immediately, of course, Milhouse, not a man of conviction.
That's what my note says. Of course, Milhouse cracked.
Immediately. Like it's, again, smash cut, next scene. It's Milhouse and the Van Houtens at the Simpsons door. And him being like, I'm sorry. And them being mad. The Van Houtens are pissed. I think the Van Houtens in the wrong here, thinking they are guaranteed to some of this money.
Yeah.
This is absolutely a kindness on the Simpsons' part.
Mm-hmm. They don't have to do shit. Yeah.
Yeah. But it gets heated right away because Kent Brockman is out there reporting on how shitty the Simpsons are.
Yeah.
And there's a great long scene of people throwing rocks through their windows with notes rubber banded to them. And it's like the camp is 50-50. Like they get a rock that's like, fuck you, give the Van Houtens their money. And then immediately a second rock that says, you're not obligated to give them anything.
Yeah, you don't owe them anything.
And I love the joke that the supportive people are still throwing rocks. They're still giving their support by breaking your fucking window.
And then we get to see the breakdown in the community on who's on what side, which I liked.
Yeah, so we're at the art auction house because we're going to sell this thing, and the town is split straight down the middle. One group yelling at the other. And so we're at the auction. People are bidding on it. Homer's all excited. We're going to sell this painting for a bunch of money. And that's when I didn't even write down her name.
Yeah.
But this gal kicks in the door and is just like, that's my painting. Turns out this is a girl Kirk was hooking up with while he was living in the Bachelor Arms apartment complex.
The Bachelor Arms. Yeah.
And she says that he stole the painting from her while they were hooking up while Luann and Kirk were separated. So now Luann pissed at Kirk because Kirk had told her that he didn't see anyone while they were separated. And I love that Kirk has no defense. He just like turns red and is like, and that goes on for too long, which is funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
We throw the auction on hold. Luann kicks Kirk out. So now he's staying at the Simpsons, which is good because there's already friction here. Kirk insists that he bought it on vacation out at Isle of Verde, which is like a local tourist destination, vacation spot.
Yeah.
And he's like, I bought it on vacation. I bought it at this store. And Homer is like, well, I can go to that store and corroborate your story. And if it turns out that you're telling the truth and you bought it, that means you rightfully sold it to me, which means I rightfully own it, which means I rightfully get all the money for it. So Homer is going to go corroborate that. This is where we get Milhouse. Bart's like, Milhouse, I don't know that he's doing okay. He's been playing DDR for a while now, but the television is off.
Just him stomping. So good.
Milhouse just dead-eyed and expressionless doing DDR moves on the dance pad in front of a blank television screen.
So good.
Milhouse is not okay.
Yeah. To be fair.
Yes.
That's a kind way. He's a troubled boy.
So we take the boat out. Lisa goes with. It's Homer and Lisa. They sail out to Isle of Verde to go find this shop where where Kirk had supposedly bought this painting.
Is it like Cafe Artiste?
Yep, Cafe Artiste. They go in. They find the lady running the place. They show him a picture of the painting on the iPad. I'm still not used to seeing iPads on The Simpsons.
Yep, it's weird.
And they've been around a while now. I'm used to the phones for some reason, but it's the iPads that I'm like, oh, right. Yeah, this is fucking 2013. We get a brief introduction to Strupo.
Yeah.
Which is
a capers extract liquor.
A fermented capers liqueur.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds so awful.
We learn more about it later at the end of this episode, but this is supposed to be absinthe. This is their
okay.
This is their. This is what the artists drink, and it makes them crazy. She confirms, the lady who works at Cafe Artiste, she confirms, yep, I had that painting. And then he shows him, Homer also has a picture of Kirk Van Houten that he took while he was sleeping. She's like, yep, and that's the man I sold it to. So Homer is super hyped because this means, that means it's my painting and I can sell it and I can keep all the money. And that's when they run into a man sitting in the corner who, it turns out, is the forger who painted it.
Yeah.
And he takes him back to his art studio and is like, yeah, I like that. The painting you have isn't worth anything monetarily because I painted it. I'm a forger. And he has all these forgeries and they're all nice and everything. And then he and Lisa like get into this actually kind of nice, deep conversation about the value of art. Sure, it's not worth anything monetarily, but like you only don't like the art now because you found out it's fake. You loved it before, and isn't that worth something? And so they don't really like reach a conclusion or anything. It's just kind of left in the air of like, oh yeah, I suppose that's a thing with art that you have to think about. Yeah. This guy, by the way, Klaus is that character's name, and he's voiced by Max von Sydow.
Oh, no kidding.
Is that how you say his name?
Max von Sydow, yeah.
Someone who I frequently forget exists, but like clap with glee every time he shows up in something.
Yep, just recently passed away, I think. Was very old man.
Oh, yeah. He passed away in 2020 at 90 years old.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to think.
Max had a good run.
Yeah, hell of a run. Like 3 Days of the Condor. He's in The Exorcist.
He did a bunch of movies for that Scandinavian director back like in the 60s and stuff. Like he's in The Seventh Seal, I believe.
Oh, okay. Dune. What else is he in? Fucking Force Awakens, Minority Report. Yeah, hell of a movie star. Oh, I bet the last thing I saw him in was Game of Thrones.
I didn't know he got onto that. Good for him.
Yeah, not a huge part, and I think he was only around for one season, but still, good on him.
It wasn't his face on the DVD box set.
Right, exactly. No one's cosplaying his character, I don't think.
Yeah.
So Homer, like, bummed that he, isn't going to get any money for this painting, but also, like, realizes that he can solve all the problems right here. So he has the forger paint a couple of things. He has him paint a family portrait of the Van Houtens, which makes Luann take Kirk back and makes them happy, and also has him paint the sailboat painting that was destroyed in the beginning of the episode, which makes Marge happy.
Yeah, that was a nice way to put a little bow on the strafe at the time.
Yeah, very much so. And then we get a quick little miniature documentary about Strupo fermented caper liqueur, which, God, even as I say it, I can kind of taste that, and it's not good.
Wasn't it like in the documentary we find out it was made by like shipwrecked sailors?
Yep. And
like boiling eels in it or something.
Yeah, it was like used to clean ship hulls or something. And and it makes you hallucinate the devil and angels pissing. Like, it's such a fucking bonkers thing. And that's meant to be absinthe, obviously.
Yeah.
I love this episode.
Yeah. This was a good episode. I was wrong. I retract my earlier statement. This was probably the best of the bunch.
Yeah, this, I would have to go back and look, one at a time. This might be my favorite episode of this season so far. This is a fucking good episode.
Yeah, this was a fun one.
Yeah,
I just like that moral dilemma. Like, that was an interesting thing. Like,
the moral
what
dilemma,
are they entitled to?
The Lisa, the guinea pig stuff in the beginning. The then second moral conundrum of the value of art and just because it's not worth anything doesn't mean it's worthless. And the tying of the bow at the end, fucking great. This is a good ass episode of The Simpsons.
Let's say. What's like the big chain pet store? PetSmart?
Yes, PetSmart or Petco. Yeah.
Yeah. You walk into one of them, you got cash on hand. What's it take for you to get out the door with a guinea pig? You get one for 20?
I don't want a guinea pig, so.
Like, you think under 20, over 20? God.
I bet it's over 20. You can't.
You think so?
You can't buy anything for $20 these days.
Yeah. God, I just assume they reproduce like fucking like rabbits, so that the demand is, or the supply outstrips the demand.
Yeah, I could see that. Maybe that's it. Maybe they got 1,000 of them that they're trying to move.
But at some point, you just don't have that many guinea pigs on hand because you're just sick of cleaning up guinea pig shit and gross ass piss filled sawdust or whatever they use in their cages.
Yeah, at some point your lowest level employee is spending 60% of their day cleaning up guinea pig shit.
And then catching the guinea pigs when they escape. Like,
do you ever have or desire to have like a small pet like that, like a rodent-esque pet?
Had a couple goldfish. I think that scratched that itch.
Freebies from the carnival?
Nope. From the Ben Franklin in Bottle, North Dakota. One of them goldfish lasted all of 2 months. The other one lasted like 7 years.
Good work.
That water was so brackish at times.
You're a bad goldfish owner.
Oh, it totally was. My mother, thankfully, was the one who would step up to the plate. I would forget I owned a goldfish. It's like, what's that moving in the corner of my bedroom? Like, oh, shit, that's the fish.
There was a time where I would have a couple of fish at a time in a tiny little aquarium. Not like we didn't have fucking sharks or anything, but you'd get some Walmart fish. Do Walmart still have the wall of aquarium that you can buy pet fish?
In the back wall, I think if you go in deep, there's still the fish.
God bless them. Still fucking.
The Ben Franklin, where I got those fish, they had birds for sale. How are they moving enough birds that they could justify keeping 5 of them around.
At a Ben Franklin in Botno.
Yep. And they had some guinea pig / hamster / some kind of animal like that.
Yeah, I had a pet rabbit, but no desire for like an indoor rodent pet, like a hamster or a guinea pig.
Well, the goddamn guinea pigs are cutie pies, but yeah, that's someone else's job.
Yeah, that's for someone else. I can view from afar and be like, that's cute. It looks like a furry little banana bread loaf. Okay, I get it. I don't need one.
Little nubs, just the easiest thing to eat if you're a predator.
Yep, just bite size. It's like a little Debbie snack. Just
yeah, just a deep fried burrito on stubby legs.
Yeah, not my jam. I asked you knowing the answer already.
Yep.
Like, there ain't no way Nathan ever wanted a guinea pig.
I was once offered a chinchilla with all the things to take care of it. The cage, the sand that they have to take a bath in.
Oh,
and I
right.
almost pulled the trigger. Yep, they do like the flips and shit. They got to spin around in sand to clean their fur off. But I was like, I know how this will end. I can barely bathe myself. And I guess chinchilla's notorious. If you blink and they have a chance, they escape. And then you just have a Argentinian rodent hiding in your walls doing God knows what.
No, I don't need I don't need a chinchilla doing chinchilla shit in my house.
Yeah, like laying its brood into your mouth as you sleep.
Like
you are pregnant with chinchilla babies.
Oh God, it's fucking chinchilla xenomorph got me.
Just going to a walk-in clinic. They think. Oh, looks like you might have strep throat. They look at the goddamn x-ray. There's chinchilla babies in your cheeks.
Just these little fur balls like what pops off a gizmo in Gremlins. Yeah. You're just full of them. Oh, no.
You need to see your primary care doctor. I'm not ready for this.
This chinchilla was on my face like a furry face hugger from Alien, and now I'm full of chinchilla eggs, I guess.
Yeah. Telling all this to a doctor who 72 hours ago had only lived in India. So you're casually dropping alien face hugger comments.
Yeah, but he's not up on his cultural references, so he can't quite get it. Yeah, never been my thing. That family of pet.
Yeah. All he thinks is you're a great big fat person that eats baby rodents.
He thinks I've been eating chinchillas, and they've somehow survived.
So yeah, that was a very good episode.
Outstanding.
Let's see how the batch ends. Episode 16. You don't have to live like a referee.
Get it?
Yeah. Tom Petty.
Yep.
Look at us. We're smart. So fucking smart. Episode begins with a Lyceum based around the Lincoln-Douglas debates, which this is a ridiculous thing to expect grade school children to sit through. A 2-hour-long reimagining of the Douglas-Lincoln debates. And these two poor men, one dressed like Lincoln, one dressed like Douglas. Oh my God. You know, you and I, we perform for a living. That sounds pretty degrading.
Yeah. That's the thing that struck me as being insane. Like, you get the vibe from like Lyceum guest speakers that they kind of work a tour, travel a fucking run. That means they just do this.
Yeah, what a life.
Like, they left Springfield, got back in their car, and went to the next town and did it
Shelbyville.
again. Yeah, went to Shelbyville and did it again.
Maybe they can do a few in Capital City. Yeah, the size.
They got a good booker. He can get them a bunch all in one shot. Yeah, not a lot of one-nighters on the Children Douglas Lincoln debate tour.
Yeah. And it ends in a riot with the kids are being very cruel. Lincoln won't have anything of it. He goes in the stands and he's fighting kids. He's just throwing haymakers at children. Douglas tries to sneak out in the podium, but they knock him over. So it's
At some point when they're throwing shit, it's blink and you miss it. Someone throws Millhouse.
Millhouse just tomahawks at him. Yeah.
Millhouse go flying by and he screams.
Yeah. And it ends up on the front of the newspaper. It does not reflect well on the school. Then we find out it's Skinner that's reading it. Now Chalmers is very angry. And it didn't make sense to me. Like, why did they swing to having to have like a school sponsor? Like, what's the money? Like,
This is I thought that the links in the chain of how we get there in this section were pretty weak and pretty loose.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. I was like, did I miss something? But it just seemed kind of, okay, this is a way to force it. And that sponsorship is from some kind of, it's supposed to be Subway. I don't even know what name they have for it. Stuffwich. Yeah. It's like, and kids, you get to enjoy our submarine sandwiches, our this, and our torpedoes. And then what was it? Nelson's like, what about po' boys? And he's like, I am sorry, Nelson. Po' boys will have to stay hungry. And he just slinks off all sad. That's when we get Ezra. Ezra is the pitch man for this submarine sandwich company because he lost 400 pounds eating sandwiches.
Yep.
This doesn't age well at all because he's supposed to be Jared, who is a pedophile.
Yep.
So Jared is in a prison for a very long time.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, okay. I immediately paused the episode and looked up on Wikipedia. I was like, please tell me they didn't get Jared to voice this guy.
Yeah, oh God, that'd have been insane, but you're right.
And they didn't. And then it dawned on me, I bet this wouldn't be on Disney Plus because they got rid of that Michael Jackson episode over just allegations.
Good point. Very good point.
Much less convictions.
Yeah. I think I've told you that one night he was out on the town in Fargo at some of like the college meat market bars. He was in town for some kind of, I don't know, pitchman presentation or something, or giving a speech somewhere.
Subway Jared was?
Yeah, he was at Old Broadway. He was at all the college meat market bars. And a couple of my buddies were working, and they said all of these college girls threw themselves at Jared.
What?
And he very politely said that he had a special someone and he appreciates it. And my friend said, I sat there and listened to these girls be like, he must be such a great guy that he just politely turns us all down. Like, the whole time, what we did not know is there was a child in a van somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, nope, you're just not the right flavor. Like, he's a bad guy.
Oh.
He's not a good spouse.
No, the reason he's not picking up on you is that you're in your 20s, and that is
you're at least 10 years too old.
He is not a fan of aged cheddar. He's into fresher cheeses than that. So,
and whatever girlfriend in air quotes.
Boy, I don't know. I could have put that uglier.
Yeah,
horrible analogy.
Very professional. Like, that girlfriend was hired by Subway. Like, we need to make you look not like a monster.
They knew. What did they know?
Yeah.
You know who's never pulled some shit like that is Quiznos. Quiznos is a quality product.
They didn't have a human pitchman. They had that weird taxidermied squirrel thing with the uneven eyes that would scream a song and play the ukulele about Quiznos.
Yeah, with like the superimposed real mouth that was
very off-putting.
Yeah. Also, those ads ran fucking a decade before like that kind of absurdism in advertising became the norm. You know,
they were ahead of their time. If they would have timed it better, we could still have Quiznos in every corner in America.
Is that still a real company? Can you go find a Quiznos today?
You could drive to Jamestown right now and have one tonight. There's the only one in the state of North Dakota.
Oh my God. I love that you had that on the top of your head.
Yep. Because I went there. I was like, there's a Quiznos? And it's like, and the guy's like, yeah, man, we get a lot of people that drive like 200 miles to come get Quiznos. Yeah. Like, no shit.
I would go get Quiznos right now. I'm hungry.
We can pause.
just hit pause, and then like there's just a cut, and then you hear me just like still with a mouthful, like oh god.
Ew.
So the Simpsons.
I got honey glaze in my eyes.
Oh god, it was toasted. This sandwich didn't touch kids. Oh yeah.
Delicious.
Oh, I got
touch me.
baby spinach up in my gum line.
So basically all of this was done so that they could have their Jared, again, Ezra, I believe. He says that they're going to do a presentation where every kid gets to talk about their hero, and they'll choose one person as the winner, and they'll get a scholarship. And Lisa, as you can imagine, is very confident that they're going to win because they have a very thought-out presentation on Mary Curie. She thinks she's going to win until she sees Martin go up there, who also does a speech about Mary Curie, and he knocks it out of the fucking park.
Yeah.
And Lisa's devastated. She leaves in tears. And then, like, Bart finds her, and Bart's like, explain what you can do. It's like, well, you can do something about Dad. And like, well, that's what every kid does. It's like, well, what are your other options? So Lisa brainstorms. There's a good scene where they open the auditorium door again, and Martin's gone, but like adults and children alike are still cheering for him.
Yep.
I think Skinner's on the mic. Martin has left the building. He had an orthodontist appointment.
And I love that not only is Bart like, yeah, but you could do it when Lisa's like, yeah, but everyone's going to do one on their dads. Bart makes the point of like, yeah, but our dad, like that would be so impressive.
Yep. Yeah.
If you could pull this off. I kind of forgot about
that aspect of it. Yeah.
I like that. That was a good point. Also, when Skinner's doing the Martin's left the building, you can see up on screen his end slide is just a black slide, and in white text it says follow Martin on Twitter, and it has a Twitter handle, which I think is at the Martin Prince, and I immediately paused it and was like, please let this be a real Twitter handle, and it's not, and that's a bummer.
Yeah,
maybe it was back then, and they have since because like it exists, someone has it, but like they follow no one and have never tweeted. It's like, you guys are missing out. Fox, if you're listening, give me the real Martin Prince.
Let me run it.
Twitter handle. I'll run it.
So Lisa does do her speech about Homer, and goddamn it, if it isn't pretty touching.
Yep.
Really digs in, and as a Simpsons fan, it's fun because she digs into some really obscure older episodes of Homer doing the right thing.
Yep.
The most specific one that for this episode is when he was the soccer judge for the little girls soccer league, and he gave Lisa a red card, even though that she's his daughter, but he knew it was the right thing to do. And people love it. It ends up being a tie between her and Martin. So they quickly announce there's no winner. That scholarship money goes back to the school.
Yeah.
Which, Jesus Christ, that school system is the worst.
Chalmers, he steps on that immediately.
Why wouldn't they split it? That's like that.
Nope, nobody wins.
But Homer was very touched because he was there, and they eventually get a visitor. Someone shows up. Turns out that speech went viral, and some dude from FIFA, or whatever they call it, but it's supposed to be FIFA, sees it. Visits the Simpsons in Springfield and say that they have an epidemic of dirty refereeing in FIFA International Competition Soccer. So they want Homer to ref the World Cup.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
It's
insane.
It's flirting with Homer Goes to Space.
Yep. The biggest sporting event on the planet.
Yeah.
And we're just going to have this guy because he was honest in a 8-year-old girl's soccer game. So you know what this means? The Simpsons are going to Brazil. Again. Thankfully, we don't get a lot of look at the Simpsons doing silly things on the streets of Brazil.
Yeah.
We get a little bit of look at the Simpsons witness silly soccer antics.
Yeah, we don't spend time like making fun of Brazil the way we usually do with the travel episodes, but we do get quite a bit of making fun of soccer.
which I don't know. I thought a lot of the jokes fall flat. Like, oh, they flop a lot. Oh, they do this, they do that.
Which they do. I mean, that's
Oh, yeah.
fair.
There's a reason. Yeah.
People complain about LeBron, but boy, soccer is a whole different beast.
Yeah, a lot of people say the NBA got to be that way because of the influx of European players who, almost all of them also played soccer, where it's all about flopping and selling calls. After a meal, after I think like a night of reffing, they went out for a fancy meal, and Homer goes out for some air, and he is approached by like a shadowy, well-dressed man who you get the vibe right away. He's a bad customer, and he attempts to bribe Homer, and Homer won't do it. He refuses because he wants Lisa to be proud of him. That speech really touched him. And I mean, they try. Some of the better little visual giggles are their attempts to bribe him.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun bits in this. We get like a montage of him being incorruptible. Yeah.
And I like, goddammit, Homer, he's not bending at all because he wants Lisa to be proud of him. That is until Bart lets him know, because Bart this whole time has kind of been the fifth wheel. It's been all about this, yay, like Lisa and Homer, best buds. And Bart, of course, he's selfish. He can't let that stand. They're in the hotel room, and it's like Bart's like, what are you doing? Bart's like, I'm contemplating if I should ruin your life or not. Or he words it better than that. And he hesitates less than a second.
Yeah.
He's like, Lisa didn't want to write that report about you. She wrote it about somebody else. She just had to do it about you because Martin did her thing first.
What a little asshole.
Yeah, why? Why do that? He's so happy.
Just a real Joker moment for Bart.
Yeah. Like that's evil.
This is Joker burning the pile of money.
What could be gained?
Yeah.
Like what could just so, and Homer is genuinely devastated by this. So he goes out and gets drunk, and then the game fixers meet him out on the streets or out in the bars. And they knew about this. I like how that must have been their trump card.
Yeah.
That they knew about Lisa not writing it about him originally. Because they're like, oh, we were wondering if you would find out. And now he don't care about anything, and he agrees to fix the World Cup. And that's, I can't remember, it's a scandalous amount of money. So he's going to get hooked up for doing it. And do you recall, is there a specific team mentioned who he's supposed to cheat for?
He's supposed to have Brazil win.
Oh, okay. Yep. And he's ready to do that. But then Lisa meets him before the game, in the tunnels of the auditorium, and just convinces him to be the man that he had been earlier. Because everything I said was true. It doesn't matter if that wasn't my original idea. And goddamn it, if Homer doesn't refuse to throw the game, there's many attempts. A guy ends up getting buried, but Homer keeps saying he tripped and won't give the red card.
Yeah.
And Germany wins 2-0, I think. And there's another dig at soccer. I don't know if it's during this game or a previous one. It's like, whatever team has an insurmountable 1-0 lead.
Yeah, with 20 minutes left on the clock. Yeah, I think that's during an earlier game.
Yeah. But this will not stand because he was paid to do a job. After the game, the fixers corner the Simpsons, and they plan to murder Homer, at least, maybe all of them. And that's when I kind of forgot Marge has a tiny B story where it's her trying to learn Portuguese.
Yeah.
First on the plane where she irritates the pilot. And then secondly, at an ATM where she refuses to use the English option because she wants, and everyone's like, you can't learn a language in hours, which is true.
Absolutely.
I mean, you get sick of that in a tourist area. Just I speak English. Tell me what you want. Instead of you looking through this book or using this app to order a grilled cheese. But goddamn it, if she doesn't learn it good enough to convince this criminal, and more importantly, the criminal's elderly mother, who happens to be there for some reason, to spare Homer.
And that elderly lady, was the one who Lisa let switch seats with her on the airplane because her TV wasn't working. Her back of the headrest TV wasn't working.
Yeah, you're right. It did all tie together that way.
Yeah, that was a fun little tie-up.
And is it... As far as I can remember, that's kind of it.
Yep. Pretty much.
The Homer did the right thing. He avoids getting murdered, and the Simpsons are on their way back to Springfield.
And we see Krusty building a Krusty Burger in the Amazon.
Oh, yep.
Deforesting
that is right.
the Amazon.
Yeah. Because they're in the Lisa's excited to get to see the Amazon, and Homer's like, it's beautiful. And it's them clearing out a space for a Krusty Burger in the Amazon.
Yeah.
Enjoyable episode. It definitely pales to the previous one, but I was engaged throughout this.
Yeah, totally fine. I don't know if there's much in the way of like soccer deep cuts that we missed out on because we don't follow soccer. I don't know.
Yeah. The laughs definitely came early on, like Skinner in that submarine sandwich costume.
Yeah, the school stuff earlier was the highlight for me. There is what got a genuine laugh out of me when they're in Brazil before they meet the gangsters who want him to throw the game, and then we go from there with our Homer is incorruptible storyline. When they're in that restaurant, Homer has a kebab with meat and vegetables on it, and he just puts the whole thing in his mouth and then pulls it out, and just the meat is missing. So there's just these gaps on the kebab and all the vegetables left, and he gives it to Lisa. And she's like, how did you, like, I thought that was a really fun visual gag.
Yeah.
That whole,
and his aunt, like, his Lisa's like baffled, but like, how did you do it? And he's just going, well, the body wants what the body wants.
Yeah. It's very funny. I thought that was a really funny visual joke.
Yeah. So that's it. 5 episodes down the hatch.
We did it. We did what they say can't be done. We continue
fired up
to prove them wrong.
They keep everyone's predicting our demise, but yet here we are.
Yep.
Stronger, firmer, more resolute than ever.
Are we firmer?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not a firm. I'm not firm.
It's a day-to-day for me.
Depends on the day.
Some days, yeah, I think it's attached to the barometric pressure. Real loose today.
Hella loose today. The heat index was like 106 here today. So,
ooh, that's messy beanbag weather there.
Oh yeah, like I was fortunate enough to be able to stay indoors most of the day. So,
if you had to go out, were you going to wear your Adidas corn kilt?
Oh, my leather, my Utila kilt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So you have a little ventilation.
Oh yeah.
I mean, modern basketball shorts are kilts. They're pretty loose.
Fair. I mean, when I did leave the house today, I was wearing basketball shorts. So,
were they big?
No, not real baggy boys. Not full on like Larry Bird nut danglers, but somewhere in between.
It didn't look like the tent they used to like fumigate buildings.
Right, exactly.
It didn't. Basketball shirts, when they're truly humongous, look like someone is somehow wearing 2 pairs. They look like curtains.
Yep.
There's too many folds in the fabric.
And plus, then they wear like socks and maybe knee pads and some manner of legging. Like, there's some basketball players who just look like they're wearing pants.
Yeah. Oh, that is a thing now. The armings and the leggings. Yeah. Everyone's wrapped up.
Like, did you forget to take off your tearaways for after shoot around? Yeah. What are you wearing, my man?
Yeah. You look at a game from the 70s, everyone looks like they're wearing their underclothes.
Yeah. Everyone playing basketball in the 70s looks like photos of men on the beach in the 40s.
In the 20s.
Yeah. They look ridiculous.
I love old pictures of the NBA before Elastic was built. If you look close, those outfits have a belt. They're pretty well hidden, but there's a belt. Imagine belting up your basketball uniform.
Buckling a belt to go play basketball. Yeah. God, that had to
insane.
Dig at you.
Yeah, you'd think.
You ever try to be athletic when you're wearing a properly waisted bottom with a belt?
Insane. It doesn't make any sense, but take a look. It's that's fact, not fiction.
What are we doing?
Yeah, they pour one out for the guy that invented elastic.
He's. I was gonna say maybe he's alive, but elastic's been around a while.
Yeah, homie be old. Homie's wishing he was dead.
Homie,
you want to do me a favor? Kill me.
Homie be expiring.
Yeah. It's taking forever. Eugene Elastic's painful final years.
Oh my God. You want to do this bullshit again next week?
Fuck, I guess.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
That's the energy.
Fuck, well, I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn the fan on, let it dry off my wets, and then I'll get the right mind space for it.
Are your dries wetted? Is it hot where you are?
Everything's damp now.
Oh man, you got to dry them wets.
There's a husky shaped sweat stain on this bed right now.
Somebody leave a beef carcass here in this bed?
Yeah, this mattress protector's earning its keep today.
Really putting it through its paces. Real hard testing today.
How many quarts of water is it supposed to resist?
Gross. All right, buddy, you go get yourself cleaned up. We'll
get toweled off.
Oof. We'll do this again next week with episodes 17 to 21 of season 25 of The Simpsons. You can watch those, and we will watch those, and then we'll talk about those next week.
Damn right we will.
It's a couple weeks away, but I'm gonna plug it this week and next week. If you are in Minneapolis, you can come see me tell jokes. I will be with Mike Lester and Ethan Peterson at Sisyphus Brewing on the 29th and 30th of July. Friday night and Saturday night, 29th and 30th at Sisyphus Brewing. Tickets are on sale now. Mike Lester is headlining, and he is hilarious. I am featuring, and I'm okay, I've been told. And Ethan Peterson is hosting. Should be very fun shows. Come to those. The 29th and 30th.
Three nice boys.
The nicest boys.
Mm-hmm. Well dressed.
Well,
I don't know. Dressed.
Dressed, yes.
Yes.
Well, dressed.
No exhibitionism in either of the three.
Yeah, I can say with moderate confidence, no nudity at this stand-up comedy shows. So
maybe a bare ass, maybe, but no frontal.
Yeah, zero frontal. There's going to be no dong hanging.
That's ironclad guarantee.
Yeah, I do not have a punchline where I stir your drink with my horn. I promise.
Yeah.
So come, sit in the front rows and know that you're safe from that.
You scream and look at me as you jam your mush into a fucking whiskey sour.
Just windsocking it into somebody's fucking tequila sour.
And it's all of it, too.
Refusing to break eye contact.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah. the joke in air quotes is you mush it all in, you twist it, and then the suction holds it in place.
Jesus. Look at that.
Like magic.
Comedy and magic. It's a bonus. Fucking amazing Jonathan up here. What do you think of that, huh?
We're sad and scared, oh. Two adjectives you don't want to hear in a comedy show.
Sad and scared. The reviews are in. They've called it terrifying and bleak.
Well, I've planted that seed, so maybe there will be some full frontal.
Yeah, now like the Manchurian Candidate, I'll just activate during those shows and
start closing your show with the female bodybuilder again. Just tucking and flexing.
I am, as we speak, enjoying a Topo Chico mineral water. As we discussed last week, they should sponsor this show because it's...
Oh, man, give us some... It's so hot. We need cold beverages.
You just saw me on the video call take like a real commercial sip. Label out the whole thing.
Very Oh, good call. Look at you. That's a pitch man, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Topo Chico tastes like television static in a beverage. It's wonderful. Topo Chico, you going to drink these bubbles or continue to not do anything with your life? That's the commercial.
Just do it.
Oh, it's delicious.
It's been a rough year.
It has, on all of us.
That's what their print ad is. It's been a tough year. Topo Chico.
17 to 21 of season 25 for next week. Find us on the internet. BarleyBasketUSA at gmail.com is the email address. At BarleyBasketUSA on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. 17 to 21, and everyone enjoy yourselves.
Bye, everybody.